After rescuing Mia, Sion learns from Lynsha that the revolution's true aim is not chaos, but the release of Chancellor Donovan, who was imprisoned by the king. Sion condemns the king's actions, while Mia senses that something about the situation doesn't add up, echoing doubts she once buried in the previous timeline. Their discussion is cut short when news arrives that the uprising has already begun. Lynsha's brother acted early, rallying hundreds, seizing the guard station and moving on to the mayor's mansion. Though reluctant, Mia follows as Sion insists on accompanying Lynsha to investigate the revolution from within. In town, Mia notices the revolutionaries' lack of hatred, wearing blue bandanas as a symbol for the revolution. At the mayor's mansion, Lambert, Lynsha's brother, rallies them with calm, charismatic speeches. Recognizing his influence, Sion and Mia are brought inside to talk. What will they encounter by talking with the leader of the revolution? Stay tuned. Come in, come in. Welcome to, well, not exactly my humble home, but make yourself comfortable. Let's see. The office should be down this way. Inside a magnificent door was a luxurious room that was more than opulent enough to be called the mayor's office. A simple chandelier was hanging on the ceiling. Who am I kidding? It was a pretty fancy chandelier, made of highly transparent crystal that dazzled from the light of the outside. Ha! The audacity of these people. They got all those taxes from us, and this is what they spend it on? After shrugging in dismay, Lambert arrogantly sat down on the mayor's chair in front of the office desk. Fancy looking, but not particularly comfortable. Lambert Nichan, enough of this. What's the point of all of this? What will you accomplish? Shut it, Lynsha. This is politics, and you're a woman. I have no intention of talking about the former with the latter. It's a waste of time. Lambert leaned further into his chair, that he was looking down at Lynsha from his nose. That reminds me, the kingdom of Remno is very male-dominated, where women don't have much to say. Mia's opinion of Lambert just plummeted. Well, it wasn't that high in the first place anyway. I'm more interested in these people accompanying you. I almost forgot. Where are my manners? You might be wondering where the tea and sweets are, right? Sit down. Relax for the time being. I'll have someone bring them to us. Oh my! Tea and sweets! This person knows how to welcome his guest. Mia's favorability of Lambert just subtly improved. Well, only a little. It put him above the likes of the prince, whatever Sable's brother's name was. But Lambert's likability was still below the Diamond Legion. After all, Mia likes strong men, and Lambert did not fall in that category. Thank you for your hospitality, but I believe we're against the clock, so if you can tell me your side of the story, it would be much appreciated. Sion glared at Lambert, ignoring the guest's couch, and remained standing. There was no sign of laxity in his wary gaze. On the other hand, Mia was already sitting on the couch. She even shifted her bottom around a little to find the comfiest spot possible to lean back and sink into the couch's sweet embrace. And just like Sion, there was no laxity in her wary gaze, except her line of sight was sharpened so as not to miss the arrival of the tea and sweets from the door like a predator waiting for its prey. Ooh, what I heard was true. His Royal Highness Sion Sol Songlan can indeed strike fear into the hearts of his enemies with a single look. Lambert applauded jokingly and said in a sarcastic tone. Lynsha and others who were listening to the conversation were astonished, but the prince remained calm. Still though, I didn't believe at first the rumor that the great Prince of Songland could be so reckless. You have my respect. Oh, your reckless highness. You knew then? Of course I did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have allowed you to keep your sword. I see. I was wondering if you just deemed us harmless kids. Sion lightly touched the handle of the sword and gave Lambert a piercing gaze. So, what's your deal? Aren't we a danger to the revolution? What do you gain from us? Oh, I have my reasons. If I'm being honest with you, oh dear Prince of Songland, I was counting on your kingdom's help. After all, this is not quite enough to convey our message. You want military intervention? Let me be so kind as to remind you that mobilizing an army is not as simple as rallying a rabble. Well, I'll be damned. That is a statement that is unlike you, your Royal Majesty, Prince Sion, who values and upholds justice and fairness from over all things. Don't you at least feel a pinch of empathy after the state of the people in this country? A sensible politician who values the people was thrown to jail and heavy taxes are levied on the people. Will you overlook the tyranny of the royal family? Well, there's the small fact that Sion has not seen the plight of the people themselves, but if the king has indeed put his loyal vassal to prison, then it is something that he certainly cannot overlook. Alright, suppose then Songland supports the side of the rebels. I still don't see how you plan on surviving until help arrives. This is located halfway between the royal capital and Count Donovan's territory. I'm sure you can now understand the strategic importance of this place. Are you trying to isolate the Tearmoon Legion from the royal capital by hitting them logistically? Of course, this is still in the Kingdom of Remno, so it is possible to receive supplies from elsewhere in the country. However, it would take time to make such arrangements. This will result in temporary confusion and lowering the morale of the soldiers. It seemed the revolutionaries led a revolt in this town with the full knowledge of its strategic importance. I was under the impression that they were just disorganized militia. Was I wrong? Alarm bells were ringing off Sion's head. Frontman and firebrand, huh? I can't say anything with certainty yet. He seems to be a man who knows what he's doing. It would be unwise to underestimate him. In Sion's head, the warming bells kept on ringing loudly. On the other hand, let's check what Mia was thinking.
Oh my! Cookies! Oh, and they have cute little designs on them to boot.
She was inwardly applauding the arrival of her long-awaited sweets. She popped one into her mouth before anyone else could say anything, held her cheeks in sensuous delight as it melted into pure sugary delight. Only after savoring it did she turn to the man that had ordered to bring the cookies.
This man, he knows what he's doing. I better not underestimate him.
Weirdly enough, Mia and Sion reached the same conclusion. So what do you think, Prince Sion? Are my words rubbish or insight? Personally, I believe they're the latter, Lambert said while opening a map. The royal capital is located in the north of the Kingdom of Remno. At the bottom left is Senia, the town where Mia and his friends are currently located. Beside Senia, a large road running through the central part of the kingdom extended to the territory of Count Donovan in the south. So this is the supply route you want to cut off? Can they just use another road? They can, but it won't be easy. Chances are it will take some time to prepare. What the Kingdom of Remno is proud of compared to other countries was not exactly their powerful military force, but the wide network of roads that were maintained throughout the whole kingdom. I remember Kidwood telling me that the true strength of Remno Kingdom lies on its highways connecting the noble domains to each other. This provides extreme mobility for the army to respond rapidly. Even infantry that have low mobility can be loaded into wagons and transported at a faster speed. The highways also ensure that supplies get transported smoothly and efficiently. This made the response unit to be deployed rapidly and with precision. This gave Remno a perfect defense system. If they just expanded more and focused outwards instead of inwards, then they can use this highway system for, an invasion? That's the reason for the high taxes. Seeing that Sion was in deep thought, Lambert gave him another push. But there's something more important than tactics, Prince Sion. The royal government of this country has sent an overpowering force, the Tearmoon Legion, to crack down on the people. Doesn't that alone make them unqualified to lead the people? We're lucky the fighting hasn't started yet, but once it begins... Involuntarily, Sion swallowed his words. The criticisms were real, and it is true that a one-sided slaughter was about to take place. He could not silently overlook all of this to happen. This is definitely complicated. But after imposing a heavy tax on the people, the king imprisoning his vassal who spoke for the people, hasn't that act alone made him unqualified to lead the people? At first I thought I was just coming with Princess Mia, but I think it might be a blessing that I came. I got to know the domestic situation and made a connection with the revolutionary faction. Maybe this is my chance to... A clink reached Sion's ears that broke his train of thoughts. When he returned to where the sound came from, he saw Mia sipping tea with a calm face. Mia had just set her teacup down to its plate. She leaned her back and her eyes closed out of pure pleasure. She let out a satisfied sigh. Presumably from the tea she had just sipped. A smile formed gentle dimples on her cheeks, which accentuated the glow of faint blush. There was an air of nonchalance to her that was conspicuous. Her actions seemed deliberate. Mia's actions immediately hit Sion. It was like a cold shower for his hot mind. Scorching suns. I almost got swallowed by his talk. The haze of heat in his mind dissipated, and a cold clarity set in. He looked at the man before him. From an firebrand, all right. He excels at the latter, though. Lambert was a compelling speaker and a force to be reckoned with. He employed words with the skills of a conman, mixing truth, flattery, and appealing to virtues, warming his way into his listeners' hearts. He instigated them to do his bidding without even them realizing. I have a dream, Prince Sion, to change this country. A country where such injustice doesn't have to exist anymore. Are you sure you should be sharing all of this with us? Aren't we the hindrance to the revolution? Jem said so, right? Oh, that's right. I was meaning to do something about it. Princess Mia Luna Tearmoon, huh? It is imperative that our noble movement succeeds. I don't want you to do anything that interferes with it. Lambert remembered James' words during their last conversation. The Prince of Songland and the Princess of Tearmoon are going to infiltrate this country secretly. Prince Sion is a threat, but he can be converted into an ally. But Princess Mia, she's a definite threat. There is no other way but to have her eliminated. You should do it in a way that won't seem suspicious to Sion. But because of my stupid sister, that plan is now out of the window. If something happens to Princess Mia now, he can forget about obtaining the possible cooperation of Sion. So, the next best thing is I need to get Princess Mia on my side. Or at the very least, keep her mouth closed. Fortunately, he is dealing with a little girl. Sure, he has heard all the rumors about her, but at the end of the day, she's just a child. It can be that hard to talk her into helping us. Anyways, I'm sure you two are very tired because of everything that happened today. Feel free to make yourselves at home. It's definitely no palace, but at least you'll enjoy a large bath and a warm bed.
Oh my! A bath!
Noticing Mia's eyes double in size at the mention of a bath, Lambert smiled inside, knowing that he had this in the bag. The Tearmoon princess is a big fan of baths, huh? It seems the rumors were true. Lambert thought that it's only a matter of time before he got her in the palm of his hands. Already feeling his victory, he began planning what he should do afterward. Lambert's behavior is exactly what is called counting one's chickens before they are hatched. I know you have your plans, but weren't you a little careless, Princess Mia?
Careless? What are you talking about?
Sure, he won't hurt you if he's relying on Songland's army to support him, but if Lambert tried to hurt Mia, then it would immediately turn Sion away from his cause. Also, it will most certainly make him an enemy of the great Tearmoon Empire. This makes the chances of Lambert hurting them really low. Moreover, if they left the manor, they might encounter that man called Jem, who might make an attempt on Mia's life. It was safer to stay at this mansion with Lambert, who at least gives them some information. But still, staying here for the night. The sound of splashing water cut off Sion's words. Mia had her priorities straight, as she was currently in the middle of enjoying a nice hot bath like that the butcherous aristocrat she was. Sion was outside the door acting as a guard, but the constant sound of splashing was making him uncomfortable. In an attempt to hide it, he tried to make small talk, but his nervousness caused it to come out more like a complaint to Mia.
Sweet moons, he is so adorable.
In a rare display of insight, Mia deduced Sion's flustered state. She seized this opportunity to entertain herself at his expense. Just the thought of being able to torment the perfect prince gave her a sense of superiority. Her behavior escalated more and more as she sloshed around non-stop, ensuring he wouldn't have a moment of peace. At one point, she even lifted out a leg out of the water and struck a seductive pose. Not that he could see her, of course, but it's the thought that counts. In her mind, she was now the great seductress of the empire.
Face my revenge, Sion.
Lynsha, however, was standing beside her with a look of annoyance and disgust at Mia's antics. She was told to wait inside in case something happened. She was wondering if she really had to do this. While she was thinking such thoughts, Mia got out of the tub and started shampooing her hair. Mia picked up a bottle of shampoo and poured some into her palm. She rubbed it in between her palms, then frowned.
Well, this shampoo is not very foamy, and to think it came from the kingdom of Remno. I guess that Prince Abel's shampoo was a very special one. Receiving gifts from a prince? You really are a princess. By the way, what kind of shampoo was it? It had a cute horse picture in it. I don't remember the name. Isn't that supposed to be for...
Lynsha tilted her head, but left her sentence unfinished. She decided that Mia's ignorance is probably worth this bliss.
It is a very good shampoo. I have to thank Prince Abel when I meet him.
Yeah?
You sure do. Haha, you don't have to worry. I'm sure that someday you will find a nice young man for yourself.
Mia, who was soaked in a sense of superiority, was a little annoying. But Lynsha was patient with her, holding back from slapping this cheeky noble brat. After all, Lynsha had to be the adult in the room.
Even so, when I take a bath like this, I start missing Anne.
Normally, Anne drops her bag for her, but it is something that she cannot ask Lynsha to do for her given the current circumstances.
you will stop my brother, right? You promised. Don't be too impatient. Haste makes waste, so let's enjoy this path for now.
Mia dodged the question for the time being, but she was thinking what she should do after. The combined effect of nourishment through the intake of sweets and bath-mediated improvement of circulation was sending glucose-rich blood to her head, and her brain was regaining its function. She was on top of the world, which was actually the way she perceived herself to be and not her actual place in it. After washing away a few days of sweat and dust, Mia succeeded in regaining about 80% of her beauty. Unfortunately, her cleanliness did not translate into competence, and ultimately, no good ideas materialized. Mia came out of the bathroom, faint wisp of warm vapor steaming from her head. The bathrobe that was prepared was a little big, but the comfort afforded was just right for her body that was flushed after the bath.
I feel so refreshed.
Oh? What's wrong? She tilted her head innocently towards Sion, who looked like he had just gone to war and barely came back to tell the tale. I'm curious to know about what kind of plans you're cooking in that head of yours. But anyways, we should still join Kidwood and the others. He's probably already in touch with the Wind Crows. They're surely already searching for us. Also, I have to contact my home country. Sion figured that they had a few more days before things could go badly wrong. But things were about to indeed go badly wrong. The next day, a scout from the Revolutionary Army came back with some news. Knights from the royal capital had already been spotted along the highway, and the one leading them was... This is it for this video. We will continue with the story of the Guillotine Princess on the next episode. This is Marco the Piran Mexican with Jobless Wings. Matanem!